An anthology of the bad, the short-lived, and the forgotten shows and events from television history. You are listening to It Was a Thing on TV. Episode number 505. Submission number 166. Beverly Hills Buntz. Beverly Hills Buntz aired on NBC from November 5th of 1987 to May 20th of 1988 for 13 episodes, 4 of which went unaired.
Beverly Hills Buntz. Dennis friends getting into lots of crazy situations in Beverly Hills. It's Beverly Hills Buntz.
And also the snitch.
Wasn't that a character from Homestar Runner, the Snitch?
No, the cheat. You're thinking of the cheat.
Well, it sounds like a character from Homestar Runner, the Snitch. Don't take my gig. Stop it. Okay, whammy. In the 80s, probably the most popular police procedural drama was a little show called Hill Street Blues on NBC. Critically acclaimed, but at least for probably about the first 2 or so seasons, the ratings weren't that good. Remember, this is the time when NBC is transitioning from the 1979, 80, 81 era where it was horrible unless you were real people or different strokes. And now they're sort of transitioning to the mid-80s where it's going to be a much better world in terms of ratings with Brandon Tartikoff at the helm. So this is sort of a transitionary show, if you will. Very popular, was critically acclaimed, and someone had the idea to actually spin off this drama, this police procedural, into a comedy drama. That's different. Rarely do we see situations where the spin-off is a different genre than the parent show. I alluded last week in the preview to this episode, the one that came to mind was Lou Grant was a dramatic show versus its parent show, Mary Tyler Moore, which is comedic. Well, now we're reversing the formula here. We're going from drama in Hill Street Blues to comedy/drama in Beverly Hills Buntz. And what Beverly Hills Buntz was about Norman Buntz, who was on Hill Street Blues. He was, let's say, a questionable cop. Let's say maybe a bad cop, if you will. And he quits the force and goes to Beverly Hills. Oh, go figure. His character's name is Norman Buntz, and this show is called Beverly Hills Buntz. Who knew? So he's quitting the force, moving to Beverly Hills, and becoming a private investigator. With that backstory, we're going to move on to the main characters. And really, there's only 3 main characters in terms of people who appear on all 13 episodes. First and foremost, the title character, Norman Buntz, played by Dennis Franz. We would all know him from NYPD Blue. walking around naked on NYPD Blue, I should add.
That was the highlight of every episode.
It truly was. If you've never seen NYPD Blue, I remember back in the day, talking close to 30 years ago, oh my gosh, Dennis Franz walked around and showed his naked butt on NYPD Blue on ABC at 10 o'clock.
And let's not forget, Dennis Franz played Homer Simpson in that dramatic TV movie about that babysitting incident.
I'm just thinking to myself, Dennis Franz showing his butt in front of God, Country, and Flag on national television was this big thing that everybody couldn't stop talking about. Catherine Hahn shows her butt, nobody bats an eye.
Catherine Hahn is not a middle-aged, bald, pudgy guy. And actually, looking at IMDb, I cannot believe the most recent entry on IMDb for Dennis Franz is NYPD Blue. He's really done nothing the last almost 20 years?
Yeah. He was like, NYPD Blue, that's good. That's a high note to go out on.
Yeah, he would have made enough money from that show, I'm sure, with it being on for, 11, 12 seasons. Playing Sid Thurston is Peter Jurassic. And, of course, if you think about it, if he opened up his own little playground, it would be called Jurassic Park. And I shut down the whole production with that stupid joke.
Yes, sir, you did. He's reprising his role as Sid the Snitch Thurston from Hill Street, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he definitely is.
And let's say this would be about 4 or 5 years removed from Babylon 5.
The third name that appears on every episode is Rebecca Griswold, played by Dana Wheeler Nicholson. Among the roles that she did, she was on 24 episodes of Friday Night Lights as Angela Collette. She's done quite a few movies. I don't want to call her that woman from That Thing, but I think that might be an apt description. She was in the movie Fletch. She played Gail Stanwyck in Fletch. So she's been around. She's still active, even up to 2022. She's appeared on 2 episodes of Law and Order SVU. So those are the primary characters. There's 2 other people who appear on more than one episode. We'll get to them as we get to the episodes. There are only 13 episodes. Again, 4 of them went unaired. So we'll start with the pilot. And just simply, it's a introductory episode. Former Hill Street Blues detective Norman Buntz promotes his new West Coast investigation firm while Sid the Snitch Thurston irritates Norm's business neighbor. One character that appears in more than one episode, actually 5 throughout the series, is Lieutenant James Pugh, and he is played by Guy Boyd. Guy Boyd, again, not really known for one specific thing. He is that guy from That Thing. Most recently, he's appeared on 5 episodes of American Rust as Judge Glenn Perrone. He was also on 22 episodes of Black Scorpion back in 2001, Captain Henry Strickland. But again, he's really made the rounds going back as far as 1977. Oh, he was actually on an episode of Barnaby Jones in 1977.
You know what Barnaby Jones was, Mike?
A darn fine show with Buddy Ebsen and Lee Merriweather. That's what it was.
That too. But it was
a Quinn Martin production.
You don't say. Well, it would have been a Quinn Martin production at that time because it was 1977, so that would have been probably 4th to last season, 3rd to last season. So it definitely was not a QM production at that time.
A QM production.
In this pilot episode, we also have a character named Jimmy Montaigne, and he was played by Joe Pantoliano. I think I've heard him called Joey Pants in the past.
I was just about to say, Joey Pants from The Sopranos and The Matrix and whatnot.
You forgot the Goonies.
So needless to say, he's definitely made the rounds. Another person in this pilot, no character name, is Concetta Tomei. Not related to Marissa Tomei at all. She was on 92 episodes of Providence as Linda Hanson. Episode 2 is titled Fit to be Tied. It looks to Norm like employee thefts from a clothing store can be deterred with a police procedure code named Fred Astaire. Don't tell me that Norman Bunce is going to go all river dance on people who steal clothes at the store, dancing on them and stuff.
Few names in this episode. Playing Harry Green is Kurt Fuller. Remember him as Carl Rove in previous entry, That's My Bush.
But he was also Woody the Coroner on site. But also, Chica, don't bury the lead. He was the villain, Brill, in the 1989 Hulk Hogan classic, No Holds Barred. And you know what that means. Jockass! By the way, No Holds Barred is streaming on Tubi if you want to watch all its greatness.
Because Tubi will air any old thing, as we've talked about many times.
But will they air MXC?
Yes.
I bring that up because one of the voices of MXC, I don't know if he voices Vic or Kenny, but Christopher Darga is in this episode.
Kenny!
Thank you.
Now I can imagine Kenny Blankenship. He would have been a very big fan of Beverly Hills Buntz. I bet Guy LeDouche would have loved Beverly Hills Buntz too.
Well, we know who voiced Guy LeDouche.
Who's that?
John Cervenka, who was a contestant on Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour. Episode 3 is titled Sid and Randy. A stakeout for one philandering husband turns up a different one who happens to be running for the U.S. Senate. There's no way this was fiction. This had to be taken from the headlines in some way. Now, the Randy in this episode, Randy St. James, played by Cindy Morgan. Just lost Cindy Morgan about a year ago. I think the place we best know her from is Caddyshack.
Yep. And we did mention Cindy Morgan on this podcast because she was in one of my Money in the Banks, The Return of the Shaggy Dog.
You mentioned Money in the Bank.
Oh, no. No. Oh, I set up trap.
Yes, sir, you did.
It's a trap.
All right, Tiffany Stratton, what's your pick?
That's my pick. No. My Money in the Bank. One man can make a difference. 5 times the people. 5 times the difference. Team Knight Rider.
Oh.
It's terrible. But also very interesting.
Did they at least get William Daniels back for it?
No.
Oh, I mean, I don't care.
Another name in this episode, playing Ashley Karsh, is Erica Yan. She voiced Mama Mouskovitz in An American Tale. And she was Madame Ruby on Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
But we mentioned her in the famous Teddy Z.
That's right, we did. Wasn't she Teddy Z's grandma or mother?
Yeah, Grandma on the famous Teddy Z.
Episode 4 is titled Duck L'Orange. Not Duck à l'Orange, Duck L'Orange. So he's ducking because a French orange is being thrown at him? Let's find out. Working on settlements for a plane crash, Norm is outraged that payment for a dog may be 4 times that of a man. Meanwhile, Sid explores horticulture.
Yeah, he brings an orange tree into the office.
Payments for a dog are 4 times that of a man. Man. Whoever my ex-girlfriend's dating now, he's going to be a rich man when that happens. Because my ex-girlfriend was a dog.
We get it.
Directing this episode, we actually have a name. Eric Lanaville from St. Elsewhere. And also another person who was on Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour for a week during St. Elsewhere week. But oh, we got a name in terms of a guest, and she's just playing a meter maid. Not a big character, just a regular old meter maid. Esapatha Murkerson from Law and Order. And Chicago Med. There's somebody that went on to much bigger and better things.
Another name for you. Playing Mr. Johnson, Ron Fassler. We talked about him in Alien Nation and 18 Wheels of Justice.
Episode 5 is titled Umbrella in the Water. Norm is arrested for a freeway shooting incident after chasing the true culprit. No names of note on that episode, so we're going to just move ahead to episode 6, titled Brief Encounter. A reporter does a day-in-the-life piece on Norm while he's working on a case to produce evidence of a circumcision. Boy, I don't think this episode is going to be a cut above the rest.
Oh God!
Really,
Mike,
Mike?
why?
Just took a little bit off the top.
No, just stop. Just
Oh,
stop.
oh God!
Please.
I thought I was ahead of the curve here.
Look, we're gonna stop you before you try to make a Loretta Bobbitt joke, okay?
Penis.
You can't say penis on this show.
Hold on. Wait,
Do it, Greg. Do it.
hold on. Charles Robinson, do you have anything to comment about this mess going on right now?
You're damn right he does.
That's a penis.
Hey, I wonder, during this episode, if he was thirsty, did Dennis Franz get a slice? If you want to go get a bite to eat, did you go to the butcher and ask for a pork chop?
God.
Thank you, Mike. That will be all.
Oh,
Hey, you're just lucky I didn't say when he went to the butcher he was going to buy some weenies.
oh, no. Oh. I'm just hanging my head in shame. I'm literally face palming right now. I am so ashamed.
I'm double face palming right now.
And I'm ready to do more penis puns, but instead, I'm going to go to the next episode, which is episode 7, titled El Norte by Norte West. A wealthy couple hires Norm to find their maid's boyfriend, whose Tijuana travel consultants lost him during the move north. Ay, Chihuahua!
Somehow that's even worse.
I'm going to offend everybody this episode, I think. Episode 8 is titled Buntz of the Desert. Sid and Norm patrol the estate of a sheik to learn who's been vandalizing the sheik's statues. No guests of note in that episode, and we're going to go to episode 9, which is the last aired episode, titled A Christmas Carol. And even though it's titled A Christmas Carol, it aired April 22nd of 1988. So maybe this got pushed back because of a hiatus? I think that's a fair guess. Buntz lowers his guard at Christmas, reuniting a wife and her infant son to the boy's father, unwittingly getting himself implicated in manslaughter. Sid tries to make some cash taking photographs at the beach.
Katie Barbieri is in this episode. She plays Tony. She plays Roberta in one of my favorite Wonderful World of Disney movies, Not Quite Human 2.
Oh, you know who was in those Not Quite Human movies?
Here we go.
Hey, everybody, it's me. Hey, guys, what are you doing?
Alan, it's been a very long time.
Yeah, I know.
So what's happening in the afterlife?
No, wait, he doesn't know.
Oh, sorry to spoil that. So how's regular life being a living human being, Alan?
Oh, you know, it's just the same old, same old.
Just living every day like it's your last.
Yeah. You know, it's hockey season now, guys.
It is. You're right about that.
Yeah. Hey, unfortunately, I don't think any of the Canadian teams are going to be winning the Stanley Cup as always this year. Goddamn Edmonton Oilers. Freaking nearly coming back from 3-0 and freaking blowing the 7th game.
I'm not happy about that.
Oh, I'm not happy about it either.
So, Alan, were you here about 4 episodes ago?
What was 4 episodes ago, guys?
I'm talking about 4 episodes ago, talking about Beverly Hills Buntz, when we talked about episode 5, I believe.
What was episode 5?
It was about a reporter who did a day in the life piece on Norm Buntz while he's working on a case to produce evidence of a circumcision.
What?
Don't they circumcise in Canada?
I don't know.
Well, don't they just take like a fishing knife and just slash it off?
I'm getting the hell out of here. This is getting too strange. Greg, you can just take it over from me. Okay. All right, Alan.
What, did I scare off Alan?
You
Scared
scared
off
off
Alan.
Alan. I can't believe you did that, Mike.
Really, Mike?
Oh,
Freaking
well.
North American legend.
Oh, you don't have to say that about me. I'm not a North American legend. But, I just wanted to see if Alan knew about that type of stuff. Maybe, back in the 80s, if he was pitching Ginsu knives and, instead of chopping and dicing carrots.
You're
now
making
When
it
was I-
worse!
When was I pitching Ginsu knives, you son of a bitch?
You may have been. Wait, hold on. First off, Alan's back. Thank you, Alan. But second, back in the 1980s, I'm sure you were pitching some different types of products up in Canada. You might have been pitching Jerry Curl, or you might have been pitching, the all-new Yugo, or maybe you did some ads for Ginsu knives. I don't know.
I was doing the Crystal Light Aerobics Championships. Thank you very much.
Well, those don't pay all the bills. Maybe you need to do some little odd jobs here and there. Maybe during the Alan Thicke show or Thick of the Night, you had a little ad there. Hey, I'm going to sell you some knives. Look how good they do at circumcision. Look at that. I just filleted this little kid's penis.
Oh,
That's very sick. I'm out of here.
Oh, now I've forced him out again. Oh, Alan, come back sometime soon, please. He's not going to come back, is he?
I don't think he's ever coming back to the show, Mike. You've scared him so much. How dare you? How dare you do that to a legend? Somebody who's brought us so much joy to this podcast.
Boy, I that up.
Well, at least we still have the G-Man.
No, he's busy watching the MLB playoffs right now. He wants to see the Dodgers lose. Don't summon him, because I will mention circumcisions of the G-Man, and I know he's got feelings about that type of stuff.
Well, he might be trying to get that Shohei Ohtani, 50-50 ball. He might have had, a claim on that Shohei Ohtani 50-50 ball, for all I know.
I didn't know he's a secret millionaire.
Yeah, well, he owns the skate shop in Skate or Die.
As I said, those are the 9 episodes that aired. There were 4 other ones. We don't have any plots, because obviously they didn't air. Episode 10 was called Ad Astra per Peoria. Episode 11 was titled A Falcone in the Hand. Episode 12 is titled Cannonade. Cannonade? Did William Conrad need that help in 1988? Do. Cannon. Oh, and we know what Cannon was.
A Quinn Martin production.
But it was not.
A QM production.
And episode 13 was titled Terry and the Pirates.
The Pittsburgh Pirates? They came down to visit Dodger Stadium for a 3-game set?
They might have been watchable back in 1988. They would have had a young player named Barry Bonds.
a lot of names on these episodes. Burt Rosario, Peter Berg, Sean Weatherly, Rod McCary. Unfortunately, they never saw the light of day.
Oh.
And sadly, they're not going to see the light of day because this show has not been rerun in a while. From what I saw, it looks like it was rerun around 1990, 89. Didn't even catch what cable channel it was on because I don't remember this airing on traditional non-cable TV. This show, I remember it getting a lot of buzz back in 87. This, I think, was going to be the next big thing. Well, obviously, after 9 episodes, it was not the next big thing. Maybe there's a reason why if we take a look at the schedule. As was said earlier in this episode, it premiered on November 5th, 1987, and it got a plum time spot. 9:30 on NBC on Thursdays. Must-see TV era. So you had the Mr. Black Show at 8, A Different World at 8:30, Cheers at 9, and then Beverly Hills Buntz at 9:30, and then at 10, I think I've got to say it just to rip off the Band-Aid. 10 o'clock on NBC on Thursday nights in 1987 was LA Law. Play the clip.
I really don't want to talk about it.
Oh my God!
Ooh, that never gets old, Mike.
Oh, you returned for a third time. I want to see if there's a third way I can offend you.
No.
I didn't have plans to do that. I'm just glad Alan's back. I was actually surprised Alan didn't chime in with not another Pulaski episode.
Oh yeah, not never Forrest Gibson. F all those Forrest Gibsons. I would never want to watch one of those on Star Trek The Next Generation. I don't even want to watch them when they're on Pluto TV. I just skip them and I just go to I don't know, like the Buzzer or that Cheers Frasier channel they got now.
You know that Growing Pains does air on the WB Hit Sitcoms channel, and they air the entire series in like a 2 or 3 day binge.
Oh yeah, well I can't watch all. I don't want to watch my. What, you think I'm gonna sit down and watch all
But do
the
it again
episodes?
because Chico is speaking.
Why are you talking to me, okay? Alan is in the upper room, okay?
Okay, but Chico is speaking. Just redo it.
I'm not redoing it. I have to ask Alan to do it.
God
Yeah,
damn
read
it.
through the line.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the line.
Alan, redo the line, damn it.
Alright, I'll redo the line, you son of a bitch.
And this is all staying in the show now.
Oh, it's canon now.
Was it a 5 canon episode?
Alright,
could
Alan,
be.
just redo the line. Okay, you think I'm gonna sit and watch like my own show for like 2 days? I'm not gonna sit on my ass and watch my own show for like 2 days. I don't want to watch myself all the time, Mike. What do you think I would do that for?
It made you a lot of money.
Oh, sure, hell yeah, it did.
Okay, since Alan won't watch the show that put him on the map, let me go over the competition at 9:30 on that Thursday night. ABC would have shown the third half hour of A View to a Kill. That would have been a pretty big movie to air on ABC in 1987.
And you know who was in A View to a Kill, Mike, as the villain? Christopher Walken.
Oh no.
I'm Christopher Walken.
Hey, it's Michael Rega.
I'm Michael Rega. I'm going to be blowing up Silicon Valley on a blimp. But
Hey,
fighting
Michael-
James Bond.
On CBS, it was the second half hour of Wise Guy. Now, obviously, it got the NBC Thursday night bump. And actually, that first week, believe it or not, it ended up 11th in the ratings. So just outside the top 10. And just going through the shows that did better that week. 1, 2, and 3 we can expect. Cosby Show, Different World, Cheers. So literally the 3 shows that preceded the premiere episode of Beverly Hills Buntz. But then 60 Minutes. Oh, hey, number 5 that week was Growing Pains, Alan, if you're there.
Yeah, hell yeah. We were top 10 that week.
Top 5.
You damn right. We were top 5.
Number 6 was Golden Girls. Number 7 was Murder, She Wrote. Number 8 was Who's the Boss? Number 9 was Echoes in the Darkness Part 2, a CBS special movie presentation. Interesting. And number 10, and really this isn't surprising, Billionaire's Boy Club Part 1, the Sunday night movie on NBC. That was a big thing back in 1987, Billionaire Boys Club. But then 11, with a 20.4 rating and reaching 18.1 million homes, Beverly Hills Buntz. So needless to say, it did get that little boost from being on Thursdays. After that first episode, Beverly Hills Buntz moved to its regular time spot, which was Friday nights at 9:30 p.m. And actually, it had a pretty good lead-in, Night Court. Night Court moved to Friday nights briefly in spring of 1988. However, because of the move, the ratings didn't fare so well. For the week of Thanksgiving of 1987, Beverly Hills Buntz was 37th out of 46 shows. So that little boost for that first week, pretty much gone. And then for Christmas time, now mind you, again, this is the holidays, it ranked 44th out of 76 shows. It's not looking good. Late in the show's run, talking April/May of 1988, Beverly Hills Buntz came in at 54th out of 80 shows. So consistently in the bottom half. So that bump from week 1 didn't carry over to even like week 2 or week 3. It just went down to the second half of the ratings. And actually, if we take a look at the shows it went up against on Friday nights, you had on ABC a show called Family Man, and that show was in the middle of a pretty stacked lineup. Perfect Strangers at 8, Full House at 8:30, Mr. Belvedere at 9, and then at 10 you had 2020. But then on CBS, I think this would have been like the 10th season of this show, 11th season, 9th season. You're not beating the second half hour of Dallas. So I think the powers at NBC said, you know what? If we put Night Court and Beverly Hills Buntz up against Dallas and Mr. Belvedere and Family Man, for that matter, we might hold our own. Well, Night Court held its own. Again, it was just a temporary move to Friday nights. It moved back to Thursday nights by summer of 1988. But Beverly Hills Buntz, no, it just didn't carry any ratings. Night Court that season was 7th in the ratings in 1987-88. So there was a heck of a drop-off from Night Court to Beverly Hills Buntz, and you're not going to be renewed if you have that much of a drop-off. Admittedly, that 7th in terms of ratings, that was probably based a lot on Night Court airing on Thursday nights. Plus also, this would have been mid-spring, like I said, March, April, May of 1988. So it's getting near summer rerun time. And if you guys have any further thoughts about this?
I would have thought for certain that at least they'd burn it off, but, because Hill Street Blues would have been done by this time, right?
Close to, if not, yes.
This just went absolutely, it started out strong, but then it went nowhere fast.
Actually, Hill Street Blues would have been done in 87. So this was like a spin-off with the parent show officially being done. Hill Street Blues ended May 12th, 1987.
So after this ended, Buntz had nowhere to go.
And thus ended the Hill Street Blues era on NBC. One other thing I want to mention, since we love this person around here in terms of theme music composers, the theme to this was done by Mike Post. And good heavens, what has Mike Post done? Maybe a better question is, what hasn't Mike Post done? Some of the greatest theme songs ever.
A-Team, Riptide, Wise Guy, Law and Order.
The Greatest American Hero.
Quantum Leap.
Silk Stockings.
Oh, yes, Silk Stockings.
And also, he was on a week, I think the last week, of Just Men.
Hey, I heard you guys mention Silk Stockings. I love Silk Stockings. Did you guys know this?
What would Gloria Loring have said?
Oh, she was out of the room every time I watched Silk Stockings.
I think that's for the best. Why'd you like Silk Stockings so much?
Oh, you know why, Mike.
You appreciate the great acting of... Oh, excuse me. God.
That's not very professional, Mike. To burp
Obviously.
You've never heard this show, apparently. So as I was saying, you watched the show because you appreciate the great acting of Charlie Brill, right?
Of course I do, Mike.
It's the only reason you watched. Well, besides the fact that you lost the remote control and you couldn't change the channel after the wrestling on USA.
Yeah, I mean, once Monday Night Raw was over, I couldn't watch Macho Man Randy Savage anymore, so I felt pretty sad, and I couldn't find my remote, so then Silk Stockings comes on, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh.
I really didn't need to hear about Alan Thicke watching Silk Stockings specifically for the TNA factor. I'm going to assume it's the TNA factor, Alan.
Well, you don't know that.
You didn't watch for the fine acting. You didn't watch for the plots.
What are you talking about, Mike? I watched it for the very fine acting of Charlie Brill. I just told you this.
Quoting American legend Gene Rayburn. Right. So yeah, as we were saying, Mike Post did a lot of theme songs. Now I think we can formally close up the shop on Beverly Hills Buntz. Beverly Hills Buntz, it tried. It had good ratings for the first week. Maybe the fact that it was a comedy-ish drama instead of being a straight-up drama like its parent show, maybe that hurt it a little bit. Definitely going on Friday nights against second half hour of Dallas, that definitely hurt. But in the end, Beverly Hills Buntz, it gave us Dennis Franz with his pants on.
But in the end, Beverly Hills Buntz was just a thing on TV.
You can find us at our website, itwasathingontv.com, on Facebook at It Was a Thing on TV Podcast, and elsewhere at It Was a Thing on TV. You can find us on any podcast player, and we're also on YouTube, where you can subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our releases, including what's coming up next time.
I've got 20 seconds to describe what's going to go on in the next episode. And I don't want to hear any funny business out of the two of you, okay? So the next episode, we're going to have and it's going to be mornings and dollars where people with, and you can find it next time on TV.
Hey, Greg?
Yeah?
Chico's got to get his mic fixed.
Oh, yeah, he definitely does. Okay, let me do it. Row!
Buntz is back on the hill.
You start with us tomorrow. Yeah, I figured I'd come in and find out what a John is.
He's man of the year material.
Shut up and eat your breakfast, buttface, huh?
Dressed for success. Soft-spoken.
Show your ugly face around here anymore, I'm gonna rip it off.
Knows the technology.
This here is a scientifically trained dope-sniffing turkey.
Officer Giblet.
Buntz is back on the hill. Thursday at 7 on Channel 13.